see what y'all doing.
You think they don't know we have night vision?
Cheers. I want everybody to hold. 30 yards.
What are you doing? No, don't do that.
What? Louder! 17 men says you're firing at them! Somebody started shooting at us first! Someone stop fucking shooting at us! Someone stop shooting at us! Someone stop shooting at them! They're shooting at you! Just fucking shoot back! What I'm telling you! We got 30 guys firing at us!
17 fat my ass.
Okay, three line. They're flanking us from Zombieland. Move! Upstairs window.
Boss, got big ordnance coming out of there.
Get the bus.
But yeah, big ordnance. Big ordnance like that. Yeah.
Guys,
Orders?
Does anyone else hear that?
Guys, is that water? Orders incoming. Get cover!
Yeah. $13. Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. Damn. He went when that mortar just went fucking disintegrated. Fuck. Watch him. He's gonna go out of the fight. Nope. Once that thing, it just dropped. Yep. There's another guy that goes out of the fight. Once those mortars hit and shit, there's nothing you can do. They're done.
in my interrogation, I never would go arrest them and bring them in. I would invite them to come in. And, you know, hey, I've got a report of this. You know, I got to get it cleared up. I'll get it off my desk. Need to find out what's going on. And when they walked through the door of the police department, I started the interrogation from there. And there's a lot of reasons I did it that way is because if they come in on their own, and not all of them would, but the majority of them would, because they're master manipulators. I mean, they think they've got it down and they can manipulate everybody because that's how they've made their way through.
And that's what I'm going to talk about right there. It is usually half the time, like when people try to infiltrate or manipulate the other people, especially the civilian side of things. When, you know, especially for law enforcement, they usually try to. It's kind of a sad deal, kind of ish, because of how things can get very dangerous. Now, let alone, I mean, it can happen to anybody in any reasoning. But let's continue.
Life, that's how they get the kids. And a lot of times they're manipulating the parents of the kids before they even get the kids. Because if I can befriend the parents and if they can do that, then they know they can earn the trust of the protector, then they're going to ease up on the kids. And so I would bring them in and walk them through, and I would get people to come in and sit down and just act like they're typing on the computer or typing on a typewriter back then. I'd have graphs and pictures, and I'm staging everything. So as they're walking in, they don't see.
You know, and this is what's, you know, enticing. You know, when people are, you know, when suspects decide to think it's okay to think they can do the things that they're doing, the vast majority get themselves caught up. You know, if you're a child or you're a parent and stuff like that, get them. Basically, this is what you got to utilize. You have to get them to talk. Get them to understand what the actual, like, what's going on inside their mind. Talk to them what's going on. Because the vast majority, if you do it that way, smoothly and wildly, then things are going to be okay. But same thing for law enforcement, military. You gotta make things such as smart. And once though you have those smartness things that you're brought into, you'll be okay right there and then. But let's continue with the interview.
Their name up on anything, but they see all this stuff going on and they know it's about them. So by the time they come in, and I'd never put them in an interrogation room because I don't want them to think they're getting interrogated. I'm just there to talk to them. I need to figure out what's going on.
You befriend them.
And I'd make sure, like if we're sitting here like this, you know, if the door's over there, I make sure that the perpetrator be sitting in your chair. Because I want them close to the door. I want the door off to their side. And I'd have a clock over here usually, things like that, so I can read their body language. So when I'm asking questions and I start getting nervous, that's when that nonverbal behavior comes out that they can't control. And so they'll start looking at the clock because they're worried about time or their watch, or they'll start leaning over to the door. You know, all those little things are indicators of deception, especially if it's reaction to a certain question. And Colorado, when I was working there, was a single party consent, which means that you can have a victim call somebody. Basically, it's one person within that conversation. If one person in the conversation knows that it's being recorded, it's not a...
And that's the same thing, you know, and it's legalized in the state of Colorado. If you did not know that. In some states, the vast majority of them, they'll have like 20 or 30 police officers. But in the state of Colorado, just, let alone, they'll talk to that specific individual on what they're doing and what they're up to. And so it's the vast majority. It is what it is. And am I mad about certain things? 9 times out of 10. That's why I have to minimize my tone of voice, and I have to mitigate what I'm getting myself into. If it's a good situation, then fine. But if I'm getting myself into something that's dangerous, there that um I'm gonna have to no choice but to not get myself triggered up into, because a lot of the times, a lot of the vast majority of them will things can get very hectic, very heavy. So with that being said, yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy because not too many people can understand that, and there's some people that are just like, oh, um, aren't cops and stuff like that are supposed to be protecting? Yes, but you'll have there's some officers that are assholes. But let's get back into something. The interview.
Illegal wiretap, that's legal. Okay. So if some of your more adult kids or more mature kids, and a lot of times it was kids that got perped on. I mean, one of them was at a was a swim coach, and he had left and he was working out in Virginia.
But a lot of a lot of the cops that were, like Mark Geist, who was known as Oz. He was in the Marine Corps. If you have not seen the movie 13 Hours, Chris Peranto, known as Tonto. Then you had Mark Geist, known as Oz. Then you had Tyrone. You had a bunch of guys. But, yeah. And also, yes, I do love the Marines. I just, that's just my thing. My thing was because, you know, I have a T-shirt that's the Marines, and since I've heard about the whole situation with the and special forces, they're they're mainly pretty good. But I mean, it's kind of crazy how a lot of these situations get end up in placed. But yeah.